Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon. It all depends on how you look at it. But for those of you that don't know, I go by the name Pimose Maingan, which means walking wolf in the Ojibwe language. That was given to me over 33 years ago when I started doing what I do with the drums, singing for ceremonies, different events, and all kinds of powwows all over the world. One of the things that I wanted to share with you also is that my name that was given to me at birth is Ray Stevenson. But I have a nickname. People call me Coco. And for over 33 years, I've been doing this singing. And tonight, I'm going to share a few songs that I've created over the years. And I have 7 different albums out on my own, not including the ones that I did with other people. But the very first song I composed is what I call my drum song. And I'll share that with you to start things off. So that right there is the first song I ever composed over 33 years ago. You know, I was challenged and asked if I could make a song back then. So what I ended up doing is I said back then when I first started singing, I never made a song before. But I said, I'll try it. So when I came up with this song, a good friend of mine, Chris, that I used to work with over 33 years ago, he asked me if I would do that, and I said, sure. So it took about 3 weeks, but I finally came up with a song and ended up recording that over 32 years ago. So yeah, I've been doing this a long time, and it's something that's really changed my life. I sing in ceremonies, powwows, but everything started in ceremony for me. It was a life-changing experience, and I'm very grateful that I made that choice. But you know, there's all different types of songs that we sing. A lot of times when I make some of the songs that I do, I like to make songs that maybe say something, send a message, or say something to the people, the other dancers. So I'm going to share another song with you. It's a little bit more upbeat song. And this song is a song in Cree. And what it translates to in the Cree language is, I am so happy to see you when you dance for people. And the reason why I made it is because when it comes to dancing, when it comes to singing, our elders tell us you dance for those who can no longer dance for themselves. So that's why we sing. We sing for those who can't do it. They dance for those who can't do it. So when you see somebody out there dancing at a powwow, I'm saying to them, I am so happy to see you because you were dancing for the people. So here's a Cree song I made, and I don't speak my language, but I come from a Cree and Ojibwe background, so if I want to make a song, I will go to somebody who is fluent in the language, and when I do that, they give me the easiest pronunciation in the language so I can put the song together. One could be made in anywhere from 5 minutes to 5 weeks. It all depends on how hard the words are to say and pronounce properly. Anyway, my very first Cree song. Again, that was the first Cree song I ever made. You know, one of the things that a lot of people ask me, how do you do what you do? You know, you get these different ranges, and I guess they call them octaves or something. I'm not exactly sure, but, you know, they said, how do you get there? What I tell them, you know, is you have to train. After you learn how to do it, you have to train. And it takes a long time to be able to get to a certain level. But, you know, I tell people, and I've been working with young people for over 30 years on how to do what I do. And whenever I get a chance to see them doing that in public, after I taught them, that's probably the best feeling in the world that you could possibly have. It's that, you know what, I have a gift, and I passed on that gift to the next generation. So that's why I do what I do. You know, it fills my heart to see the young people doing what they've been taught and doing it properly. So I'm going to share another song with you. This song that I'm going to share is another powwow song. You know, maybe about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I made an album on one of my CDs. And I made this song, and I didn't realize, but after I made the song, it kind of reminded me of Redbones. Hey, hey, what's the matter? You know, that song there. And so after I made it and I recorded it and listened to it, it's not named this, but that's what I call it. I call it my Redbone crow hop. You know, one of the things you have to do if you're a dancer is you have to be able to dance to different types of beats of songs at a powwow. And this is what we call a crow hop. So yeah, you know what? It's not titled this, but I call it my Redbone song because it's got the same lead when I started off. So. and you know what? There's different types of songs that you have to be able to dance to, and that's what we call a crow hop. A lot of times, people say, well, why do they call it a crow hop? And what is it supposed to mock? So it all depends on where you are in North America, but you know, a lot of times when we would have to go up against the enemy, they would kind of be sneaking up there, right? So it's almost like sneaking up on the enemy. And then a lot of times that we have ceremony, we have horses in those ceremony. And those horses do a little bit of dance when they're in that ceremony. So if you go down south and even up here in Canada, you know, there's ceremonies that they have for the horse. And a lot of times they'll sing a song like that in different things like what we call a horse dance. But, you know, there's many different types of songs that you have to know. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is that make sure you know what you're going to sing. Because sometimes you sing songs that you don't necessarily know, and it's always good to. And that's something that kind of motivated me also, you know, to make my own songs. So nobody can say anything to me about the songs that I composed. And with hundreds, if not thousands of years of songs that were being sung, it's hard not to find a song that's very similar to another one. You know, similar to what you hear on the radio, there's only so many things that you can do. But I'm going to sing a song in the Ojibwe language now. You know, my grandfather was a Cree. He was from Peguis. My grandmother was an Ojibwe from a place which was called at one time St. Peter's, which is around Lower Fort Garry and also Selkirk area, before they broke everybody up and made treaties and sent them off into the reserves. But that was called St. Peter. So I come from a Cree Ojibwe background. I was born and raised in Winnipeg's North End, and I'm proud of that. You know, I'm a North End kind of guy, old school, and I'm very proud of the fact that I grew up there, went to school there, graduated from there, and one thing I didn't think I'd do was graduate. That's for sure, but you know what? After I did graduate, I needed a purpose, and this gave me a purpose in life to be able to continue on a better path. So that's why I chose it. And one of the things that we do as First Nations people is the men have a certain responsibility, but also the women have a certain responsibility. And one of the things that I like to do when I make songs is I like to acknowledge some of the people that do some of the things for us. You know, when you see a woman, you know, that woman has a lot of power. She has a lot of strength. The women are the ones who bring us into this world, you know, and a lot of times they are activists. And when we see those activists out there, we call them Ogichitakwe, which means warrior woman in the Ojibwe language. So this song hasn't been recorded yet, and it'll probably end up being on my next album if that ever happens. But it says Ogichitakwe, which means warrior woman. Miigwech, which means thank you. Kinanakomin, is you're acknowledging them. So you're acknowledging those women and giving thanks because, you know, they are the warriors. And we always want to give thanks to those women for just bringing us into this world and looking after that responsibility. So here's a song, like I said, haven't recorded it yet, but I call it my acknowledging and thanking our Ogichitakwe. You know, I talked a little bit earlier about when people ask, well, how do you do all that? You know, what kind of strain of voice does it have on your voice? Well, when I do one song, you know, one song would probably end up being the equivalent of singing 5 songs in karaoke. So that's how much I put into what I do, and that's how much everybody does that sings on a big drum and a hand drum. You know, so there's a lot of power. And if you get a chance to, go to a powwow, go stand right beside that drum and listen to that drum. Because you know what? It's going to give you a feeling like you probably never had before in your life. That drum has the power, and they say that it has the spirit to touch other people and other people's spirit. Whether you believe in traditionalism or the Catholic Church, it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes that drum will do that to you. It'll touch your spirit. And it might freak you out a little bit, but that's okay. And that's exactly what happened to me. I never grew up in ceremony. Like I said, I was a North End kind of guy, right? Born and raised. And this was never available to me. I went to my very first ceremony when I was 18 years old. And that ceremony changed my life. You know, you heard of a born-again Christian. Well, that day I became like, I don't know, a born-again Indian. You know, is a simple way of putting it. I gave up the drugs that I did. I gave up alcohol. And for over 33 years, I've been drug and alcohol free. And I wouldn't have changed that for the world, because this drum has done wonders for me. I was told by one of the elders that, you know what? If you do this and you do it right, you respect that drum will do things for you. Don't expect for them to happen overnight, but they will help you. It'll help you overcome some of the major obstacles you're going to have to in your life. It'll take you places. You're not going to get rich, but you know what? It'll look after you. And I really, truly do believe that. And the reason why I teach the young people is I want them to have that same opportunity to be able to succeed in life. And I'm not here to preach to anybody and say, you know what, stay away from drugs and alcohol. But all I can say is that growing up in the North End, my life was filled with it. And it got me from one path onto the next. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity when I went to that sweat for the first time. You know, so I just wanted to share that. There's a purpose in what I do and why I do it. You know, when I was growing up, I wanted to be Tony Montana. That's a true story, you know. That's the way my life was headed. You know, so I'm glad it took a different direction. But, you know, let's get back to the music. You know, there's different types of songs that you have to sing. There's slower songs, there's crow hops, there's a little bit faster song that you can sing for different, you know, we have jingle dress dancers. We have fancy shawl dancers, men's traditional, men's grass, men's chicken dance. So I made a song and I just call it Ya'u. You know, it's got no words in it, but what it does is it says, it's got the weyas and heyas. And that's one thing that we have in common with people from all over the world, you know, is the drum and chanting. So this is a chant, and it's a little bit more upbeat, and I call it Ya'u, and I'm going to share that with you. It's just a straight song on, I think it was my last or second last album, Walking Wolf Singers, but I'm just going to share a little bit more upper beat song. Yeah, you know what? I just kind of call that Ya'u because, hey, ya, way, ya, oh, hey, oh. So I needed a name for it. It's a cool little song, but, you know, like I said, we have different dances. That was a little bit of a fast beat. And I also made a song for a faster song that we would sing at a fancy dance song, whether it's for the men or for the women. You know, the story behind the song is that I had to pick up my mother in a snowstorm. She had a doctor's appointment. We were sitting in traffic on Portage in Maine. So I was just sitting there and I'm thinking about a song. So I asked my mother-in-law, who's fluent in Cree language from the Opasquiac. I says, how do you say hurry? She says, Kenepe. And I said, oh, how do you say hurry up and dance? Kenepe nimito. And I says, oh, okay. So by the time I got to the next set of lights, which was like 3 minutes, I had a song. So the words are Kenepe nimito. So, you know, songs can come, boom, just like that, or they can take a long time. So there's a fast song for fancy dancers, and it says, hurry up, hurry, dance. Kenepe nimito in the Cree language. So again, that's what I call a fancy dance song. It translates to hurry up and dance. You know, a lot of times people will say to me, well, how do you sing? You know, and I say, well, you need somebody, first of all, to teach you, and you have to be around it consistently. And they say, well, I can never sing. And I say, well, you're talking to me, so yes, you can. You just don't know it. You know, and singing can be as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, all I want you to do out there is I want you to watch this. Ya-a, ya-a, ya-a. So that's 3. Then I say ya, ya. 2 yas. Ya-a, ya-a, ya-a. Ya, ya. Now when I put it together, I make a tune out of it. Ya, 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 yo, yo. 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 And that's the whole song. So probably about 23, 24 years ago, there used to be a pop in Manitoba. It was called First Nations Cola. A good friend of mine, John, he was working there at the time. We used to take my kids that I worked in the school for in the North End for 25 years. It was called an LAC program. So we used to take our kids all around different bingo areas and collect cans. So we would have these cans and we would make some money so we can go on field trips. So we went on a tour to this place called First Nations Cola. And then I told my buddies, John, I says, you know what, I'll make a song for you. So he says, yeah, okay. He didn't think I would. So this song had the original words of, when you're thirsty and oh so dry, First Nations Cola, give it a try, right? So that was the words in it. It's a round dance song. So I taught it to the kids in my Powwow club, and I've been doing that for over 25 years. And one of the little kids comes up to me and says, Coco. And I says, yeah. Why don't you change that to Coco's Cola, because you sound like you're a Coco's Cola. It sounds like a pop too. So I said, okay, you know what, that's true. So let's do that. So I changed the name to Coco's Cola instead of First Nations Cola. And I don't know, but First Nations Cola ended up going out of business. So I took little kids, ages 4 to 11, into a studio in the North End called Sunshine Records. And we recorded this song. And that's a song that we just kind of went over. So I won't use my drums so I can do this with you guys, all right? So one verse, Coco's Cola. Ya 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 yo yo. Ya 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 yo yo. Ya 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 yo yo. Ya ya yo yo. Way yo hello hello. When you're thirsty and oh so dry, Coco's Cola, give it a try. Ya 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 yo yo. Ya ya yo yo. Way yo hello hello. So you know, songs are possible to learn as long as you can break them up for people to be able to understand. And that's what I do. So that's why people ask me to do a lot of things when it comes to workshops. I work with every school division we have within Winnipeg area and surrounding area. I worked with both universities, and I still do, and Red River College. So all the powwows that they have for graduation within the schools of Winnipeg and both universities and Red River, I normally MC those powwows. So I know we're kind of running out of time here, and you know, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to come out here and just kind of share the gift that was kind of given to me, and the gift that I never knew I had. And if I have a message for people out there, you know, the message would be never give up. Never give up on any kind of an opportunity that you have. And you know, everybody has a gift. Sometimes you just don't know that you have that gift. And if you do find out what your gift is take advantage of that. Use it to the best of your ability, because nothing but positive things would happen for you if you can take advantage of that. And if you have the opportunity to pass it on to other people, then maybe that might help them in the future generations. So, you know, I really like to, again, say thank you for the opportunity. And for us as First Nations people, there's no way for us to say goodbye in any of our native languages. So you can go anywhere across North America, which is what we call Turtle Island. Anywhere in Turtle Island, you will, there's nobody that can say goodbye in the languages. There's no way. It's always until we meet again. So the last song that I'm going to share with you is a song that I titled Till We Meet Again, simply because of the fact that there's no way for us to say goodbye. So that's, it's a chant. And if any of you ever get a chance to see me out there, you know, come and say hi. It's okay to do that. Come and say hi. I'm a pretty approachable guy. You know, come and say hi and say, hey, I saw you. I'll say, well, you know what? I'll shake your hand and I'll say, well, it's nice to meet you. Thank you for watching. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ray Coco Stevenson. Pimo Se Mayangan, which means walking wolf. And this will be my final song, and I call it Till We Meet Again.
Hey
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until we meet again.